In a quiet village nestled between green hills and golden fields, lived a farmer named Arun. He wasn't a man of wealth, but he possessed something far more precious, an unbreakable spirit. Every single morning, before the sun had a chance to peek over the hills, Arun was already out in his fields tending to his land. His neighbors often chuckled, teasing him for pouring so much effort into a patch of earth that gave so little in return. "Why bother, Arun?" they'd ask, shaking their heads. "The soil's too dry. Nothing good can ever grow there." But Arun would simply smile, a knowing look in his eyes, and reply, "If I take care of the land, one day it will take care of me." He had faith, not just in the soil, but in the power of his own persistence. One summer, after months of relentless work, a miracle started to unfold. His crops began to grow tall and vibrant green. Arun's heart swelled with pride as he saw his dedication paying off. But then, one fateful night, a furious storm descended upon the valley. The wind howled and tore through his fields with brutal force, and the torrential rain washed away almost everything he had so carefully planted. The next morning, Arun stood in silence, gazing at the devastation. The field was a muddy, broken mess. He sank to his knees, his shoulders heavy with defeat. For the first time in years, a wave of hopelessness washed over him. His wife, Mira, approached quietly and placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Maybe it's time to stop," she whispered softly. "You've worked so hard, and the land just keeps fighting back." Arun looked up at the somber gray sky, his heart aching. But after a long pause, he spoke, his voice quiet but firm. "If I stop now, everything I've done so far will mean nothing. The storm took my crops, but it didn't take my will." And with that, he picked up his tools and started all over again. The next season brought a different challenge, a relentless drought. Week after week passed without a single drop of rain. The ground cracked and hardened under the scorching sun, and once again, Arun's precious crops began to wither and die. Seeing no hope, many of the other farmers gave up. They packed their belongings and left the village, seeking work and a new life in the distant city. But not Arun. With unwavering determination, he decided to dig a well. By hand, he worked day and night, one painstaking bucket of dirt at a time. The remaining villagers laughed at his seemingly foolish endeavor. "You'll never reach water," they scoffed. But Arun just kept digging. It took him 42 grueling days. His hands were covered in blisters, and he barely slept. But on the 43rd day, a sound echoed from the bottom of the deep hole, the sound of gushing water. The entire village came running, their eyes wide with disbelief. From that day forward, Arun's fields had a constant supply of water, even in the driest of months. Slowly but surely, life returned, and his land turned a brilliant, healthy green once more. Years passed. Arun's small, once barren farm transformed into one of the most fertile and abundant in the entire valley. He planted magnificent trees that bore the sweetest fruit, and he generously shared his harvest with the very same villagers who had once mocked his efforts. One afternoon, a young boy approached him, looking nervous. "Sir," he began, "my father says there's no hope for our land." "It's just too dry. What should we do?" Arun smiled, his face etched with the lines of years spent under the sun, a testament to his struggle and triumph. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small seed, and placed it in the boy's hand. "Plant this," he said warmly. "And when you feel like giving up, remember this: a seed doesn't grow in a day. It needs time, it needs care, and most importantly, it needs belief. The same is true for your dreams." Even now, people in the village tell the story of Arun, the farmer who simply refused to give up. They say his farm wasn't just built with soil and water, but with sheer courage and infinite patience. Whenever someone in the village feels like quitting, whether it's a student struggling with exams, an entrepreneur facing a failing business, or a family trying to mend what is broken, they remember Arun's powerful words: "The storm can destroy your field, but it cannot destroy your faith." The real lesson here is that success doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It comes to those who keep going, who keep believing, even when the entire world tells them it's useless. The secret to growth isn't just in the soil, it's in the soul. And just like Arun, if you keep persevering, one day, what once looked like barren land will bloom with the magnificent harvest of your efforts. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing for more inspiration.